Hi everybody, Joanne and Deb on camera, and then we're gonna switch. And this is Huckleberry's 2023 favorite things. I might have to go down in the basement and get stuff. Kidding. I was gonna come up that way. Deb said no.
Because look at the deer beside her. Look.
So
Isn't that cute?
Deer, I forget the name of the pattern already. Reindeer
Crossing.
crossing.
Super,
he's
super
sweet, eh?
cute.
I said I'd make a pillow with a red nose, and I'm done. I'm not making a pillow. Okay, I'm gonna start with the favorite things from Krista. I have a couple favorite things from Carrie, and she loves the slotted trimmer. She's doing a half square triangle quilt right now, and so we're going to talk more about that, but that's one of her favorite things. And then her other favorite thing is a herring marker, and it's we don't have them in stock, they're on their way, but it's white boning, and you use it to crease fabric rather than marking it. So rather than putting like any kind of ink or chalk, it's like scoring paper. Anyway, so that's Carrie's favorite things. You want to know more? Ask her when you come visit. Okay, and then for Krista, she likes the thread picker. So this is kind of like the rolly thing, but you just put it on your fingers and then you can wipe it off anywhere. So that's a cute little stocking stuffer. And then she also likes Aunt Pam's cleaner for the mats. So these two items are actually really good stocking stuffers. And then she likes any Villa Rose design patterns. So these are really inexpensive. They do assume that you know some basic things like how to do binding. They're not going to tell you how to do that, but they're usually quick. They have some for fat quarters, some for pre-cuts, all kinds of things. This one's for a panel. So here's another Villa Rose. So you can see that one uses strips. So really inexpensive and great quilts. Okay, so walking foot. This is one of Krista's favorite things, and who doesn't love a walking foot? You can't live without a walking foot. I use it on my binding because you are going through 3 layers. Straight line quilting, yeah. Even if you do a lot of free motion like Deb, you still will use a walking foot. Next thing. So this is for half square triangles. When you want to draw that line, that sewing line, so usually I draw the middle line in a square and then you sew 1/4 inch. Well, this, you mark these lines, and those are your sewing lines. And I do a much better straight line when I follow the line rather than trying to stay 1/4 inch away from the line. We have videos on this, so if you want to see how it's really done, because we're not demoing it, then just check out our videos. Okay, and Krista loves this. It actually came with some of the 97 feet, and I actually have one here. And it screws onto your machine. If you look at your needle on the silver plate, there's a little screw, so that screws onto it, and it's a little guide. So I actually don't use mine, but I know people that do. So that's, your foot's there, there's a little hole, and you can screw this in. There's a little hole for that. It even comes with a little screwdriver. So if you didn't get it with a 97 foot, and you have a different foot, you can use it with any foot. You can buy just the guide. So now, see, when that's screwed in, you can just adjust it to whatever you like. So super nice. The thing I like about this better than the guides that come with the walking foot is it's always on that side. And so if you switch your quilt around, it's still on that side that you want it to be. If that makes sense. There are videos at the Bernina Canada website on feet, and our feet are on special, so you haven't seen the email or anything like that, you better go check them out. And then Krista loves labels, and these are some of her favorite things, and I can tell you they're my favorite things. These are so cute. I keep you warm. This one is love you to the moon and back. Ignore the swear words. Quality, you know, can't say that. You Are Awesome, For You, XXO, Me Made. This one, Perfectly Imperfect. I have that one in a different color. My Happy Place. And we can't show you this because it has 2 swear words on it. But if you want to come in the store and say this. So these are really great. Oh, one more got away. Just cute little rainbows. So how I use mine, I have all, like I have this brand, I have the other brands that we have here, and I put them on my quilt when I put the binding on, and I actually write my name and the year. So I do that with all the quilts, and then if I never get to a label, which I never get to a label, my name's on it, and the year, at the very least. Okay. Oh, one other thing that Krista likes that I actually love is this ruler. So I had one, then I lost it, then I bought another one, and of course when you buy the other one to replace it, you find them. So I have 2, and I actually don't mind having 2. They're 2.5 inches. This one is 20 inches, and then there's a shorter one too. I actually use this one the most, and I like using it even just for drawing lines on your quilt. So any lines like this, if I'm gonna draw a quilting line, then I'll use this. It's small, it's handy, right? Rather than using your big bulky ruler. Okay, Krista's favorite things. Over there. Okay, my new all-time favorite thing this year is this. So this cleans your wool mat. And if you're like me, I scorched mine the first week, probably the first day. But this cleans it. And it just runs it along and it takes all that yicky stuff on. This is so great. My favorite thing. And it's new this year. Okay. Oh, I forgot. These are Krista's favorite things too. And I do too. I have this one. This one is really nice. I like it for shorter projects, but if you're doing a longer hem, and all that does is if you want to hem, like a 1/2 inch hem, and you just bring this up and you press it along that line. So this doesn't get hot and it's nice and firm. You can do it with a file folder, which I used to do before this, but this is way better. File folder, it does the job, but it's not great. So this is just great. I love these. I actually use them quite a bit. So if you're doing like little straps where you have to fold into the middle, or you're doing a hem that you want a 1/2 inch or an inch or 1/4 inch, these are great. Okay, my next favorite thing, I might have had these last year, but I still love them. And if you're like me, I wear my reading glasses, but sometimes when you're doing smaller, these just sit on your ruler. Now, can't you see that better? So yeah, I have my reading glasses on, but sometimes that's just what I need. So there are 2 sizes in this box. Excellent. Okay, and I brought this to show you, but this is actually one of my favorite size squares. If I'm buying a square, I started with the largest because I can cut smaller. But the benefit to having smaller and different sizes, it's always handier if you're doing like a 6-inch square, not to be working with a 15-inch square. So that's why it's nice, you know, collect rulers. Collect rulers. Collect them. Okay, that's a favorite thing. 8.5 seems a good size too. These are great. So if you or Bill, thread holder fits perfectly. Okay, and when you buy these, you actually get a thread. So a whole spool of thread. That's a good value. Okay. Oh, I forgot some of Krista's stuff here too. So this is Krista's Any Stripology ruler. I have this one. Deb's going to talk more. Deb's done lots of great videos on using them, classes. So these are just great. I don't do binding with my ruler. I use my Stripology ruler. So at the very least, start with that. Krista also loves this book. She's done quite a few great runners. So table runners are nice. They're gifts. You know, if you want to be rewarded, quick project, super nice. So And I like Pat Sloan. She's great. Okay, I have not tried this. I don't even know if I opened it up till today, but Krista loves this. And Kay Buckley brought us the perfect scissors, which we love. All sizes, have 3 sizes. And now she has the perfect adjustable ruler. And Krista swears by this. You can make it longer. And remember, I was just saying how it's nice to have a ruler that's closer to the size so you're not carrying bulk. Well, this adjusts. That's perfect. Way to go, Kay Buckley. So, check that out. Okay. My favorite book that I've done, Fresh Fat Quarter Quilts. Actually, really, probably my favorite pre-cuts are, okay, I like them all. But fat quarters, first pre-cut. Yeah. So I've done that one. Love that one. Grandstand. And my newest one is actually at the front door. So come and check that out. So I've done 3 from this book already. So anytime that you can do even one pattern is great, but when you can do 2, that pays for the book. So 3, after 3, those are free patterns. Okay. This is a little runner I've been working on, but then it got put aside. But I see on Instagram this lady, and she does just squares, like patchwork, of little fussy cut things. And they're just the cutest things. So I got the Quilt in a Day complete fussy cut ruler set. So there's all different sizes. And then that way I could fussy cut, put some tape on there. So I could fussy cut that square. So then if I want the cat in the middle, that's great. So that's how I managed to get these all where I want. The little bunnies on the edge, the little bunnies on the edge, little guys here. These are great for fussy cutting. And I don't know if I brought it, but there's also one for, will come to me.
Jaybird Quilts one?
Which one?
Jaybird Quilts.
Jaybird Quilts. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, so if you like Jaybird quilt patterns and they have different shapes, they have a fussy cut kit. Hi. My other thing that I love is my cleaning tools. So, good pair of tweezers that are long and have a nice point to get that little debris ball that gets into your big rotary CB hook. So you want to take that out. And then I like these. They're light. This one has super long to get in behind there. This one I actually like to run along the edge. I have a video on that too. And then it comes with a cloth to clean your screen, because you're not going to use paper towel or your fingers. No licking fingers on your screen. So these 3 things all come in this great kit. So yeah. So I love those. And then I also love this. So after I'm done, you know, you get debris up on your foot and on the outside. I just like to take this and brush it. And I like to brush around my machine too, because when you blow all that stuff out, brush it all out, it's all over your machine on the outside now. And look at this. Who just doesn't love a pretty thing, right? I mean, come on. That's great. So that's just so beautiful. Yeah, so fussy cutting, really great. Okay, then the other thing, Krista really likes these patterns, and you want to do a little collage, you don't want to do a whole collage. If you're like me, if I do a collage, I'm not doing anything else. So, because my room's a mess. This is nice, so you'll get them done. And then whatever stocking, Mr. Claus, whatever snowman, whatever wreath, whatever Christmas. So nice and small, cute, and fun to do. Collages are just fun. This is my favorite pattern. This is just, yeah, simple charming. And you don't have to have a charm pack, because actually you don't need that many squares. So using your scraps for that, I just really like this. It's quick and easy. Okay, now, love these. So these are not, they're numbered and lettered. And I can tell you, if you look at my video for the wonky log cabin, I needed them. And I needed not just like 1 or 2, I needed 2A, 1A, 3, 2B, 1B. So that's how the cutting went. So I needed 1A and then 2A and then 1B and 2B. And so this had it. And it also has all these other numbers. So 1 inch, 1 1/4 lines. It's just great. Yeah. So that was bonus. That was one of my favorite things this year. Okay. I brought this today because this is so fun. And I had to make myself a new tree skirt to go with my new colors for next year. And I'm swaying whether to do stack the deck or this, because this just comes together. Stack the deck, you get to trim, but these actually finish perfectly. So they're all templates, and you can, there's 8 inch and there is a 6 inch. So yeah, I'm really torn, but these.
Using a layer cake, right?
Yeah, this uses layer cake, but you know, bring anything from your stash. It just works great. Now, the runner. So we did a video last year, I think it was last year. So this is only 4 trees. I actually doubled it for my table. So I have 8 trees. You can make this into a quilt. My favorite quilt. Like, it was fun to do. It wasn't so much fun the first time, I have to tell you. The second time I did it, I thought, why was this so hard the first time? So watch the video, it's very helpful. It uses a spider web ruler, which I love. And it's just so nice. So that's still my favorite Christmas pattern. The deer are pretty cute. Okay, I think I got it all, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, slotted trimmers, which Deb is gonna talk about too, but it's like stripology. I don't know what I did without it. I use these all the time. All the time. When I can't use them, it's because I didn't read ahead to see, like in a book, if it tells you to do half square triangles. I need to look ahead and make the triangles bigger because I much rather trim them. The last pattern I did, the reindeer, they did it big enough. So sometimes a pattern will say cut it 4 7/8. And then I go ahead and do that, and I'm thinking, why didn't I just do it 5 1/4? But this did have them a little bit bigger, not as big as I like, but that's why my points are so nice, is because I use the slotted trimmer. So anytime you're doing half square triangles, use your slotted trimmer. Love it. Then my other favorite one, flying geese. So anytime you're going to do flying geese, this is the ruler. It has the 2 trimming sides. So this is the first side you use to trim, and second side. So favorite rulers, stripology, these, and this is the third. Now, if you haven't used these and you want to do something fun, this is also a video, and you can see I did half square triangles and quarter square triangles with the slotted trimmer. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to switch over with Deb. Here she comes.
There should be a camera following us.
We need more than one cameraman.
You're too funny. Okay, I've got a few things. Some of them might be repeats, but it's always worth going over again for some items. Some of the newer items we've got, remember the color catchers? They were breezy sheets. We now have these ones. They're color consumers. It's a color consumer. And there's 10 sheets. So you can use these with clothes as well, but for those of you worrying about your quilts, add 1 or 2 sheets to your laundry when washing, add detergent and wash as usual, and then throw it out afterwards. So there you go. This is for those who embroider. I really like this. And it was Carol who wanted this ordered in last year, and we did. So this, when you're embroidering, if you've got puckering in that, you actually put this on top and press through it, and it is really, really nice. Now, probably also work for your fabric blocks too, which is something I've been meaning to try. So we have those. There's our OESD, which are really good products. They do a good job. So that is the press cloth. We also have the applique fuse and fix sheets, and Krista said there was a group of ladies in Pell River who have ordered in these and love them, so we had reordered them in. There's a bunch of sheets. I know Linda and I have used them as well. You can use them just as regular applique by tracing on them, and they actually are a really nice glue. So multiple use, and I do believe this one, yeah, one side sticky, other side fusible. Can be stitched through and will not gum up your needle. So whether it's different than the other products that you've tried, you might have to check that one out. Those of you, this is the Gypsy Quilter, which always have really nice products. This is applique freezer paper. Create, print, iron, and reuse. So you can actually print on these. So that's a package ready to go for you. No, I haven't used that yet, but we do have that in stock. Okay, one of my favorite things this year. So, what this book does is it walks you through all of your, I don't know if you're gonna get the glare on that or not, but it's going to walk you through the different cuttings with all of the different rulers. So, here's the ruler stickers, which I had set here somewhere. Oh. So they match actually the stickers that Joanne showed you. I'll show you a sheet after, because I do have it here. Oh, there it is. These are just the straight, I don't know if you can see. These are arrows. So if I peel them off, which I'm not going to get, can you see the arrows at all? I don't know if
Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay. So there's two different colored packages. One has green, pink, and turquoisey color, which I like actually best. This is from the Fiesta one, which has a red, purple, and can't remember the other color. But they're great for your rulers, marking them as well. So that's what she's showing here. She also has triangle trim little, we've got that too, which I should have pulled out. They will just go on your corners of your triangle, so you can clip the corners. So when you're sewing them together, you're not worrying about that. But what you're gonna see is the QR code reader here. And I did it the other day. It was pretty cool. Takes you right to her YouTube video. So you can either follow the charts here if you're not familiar, because sometimes charts can be a little intimidating. Okay, so this is cutting 1/4 inch increments, cutting 1/8 increments, and the 1/8 increments happens with our, we can use, this is the newest one this year. This is the quarters, Stripology Mini quarters, compared to, I got both here. Let's turn them both the same way. Okay, what happens in this one? This is the up to 6.5 inches, both of them. This now, can you see? It has cuts every 1/2 inch. So if I could push down a bit, you might see. Or sorry, every 1/4 inch. So this is every 1/2 inch, which is on the regular, the two other rulers, the Stripology Squared and Stripology Extra Large. This one is actually, can you see the many more lines on that one?
Oh yeah, see.
So now you turn it, so the bottom you can do your regular halves in that, but if you turn it around, and Joanne can get that, can you see where the 1/4 inch are marked? And it's for squaring up as well. So now you can do a 2 1/4 inch square using this ruler. Okay, so you would follow the lines up, you would cut on that line, and then you would turn it one rotation and then line those cut lines underneath, and then you'd cut again. So you can do your 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch squaring up using Stripology rulers. So that's so cool. And then, so that this book will go through. It's not a thick book. It is coiled, which I love. Here's showing you the different rulers. Okay, and it's showing you the process. Now, this is the showing you how to trim half square triangles. I have just discovered a way to use these rulers without opening them up and cutting them. So similar to the slotted trim, but what it's going to do, and we will do a video on that, I will show you how to use them using the lines marks on it. So it was fun figuring that out last week. So here's more quarter squares. What do they call the 3 one? Can't remember. But the charts, so they're going to give you a first cut, second cut, and then again, look what you get to do. You just get to go right to the video. So you can kind of look at that quick, but I find go to the video first and then take a look, and you'll find that the instructions will make a lot more sense. And then she's got some just quick, easy patterns, what you can do with the basic shapes that you cut. Okay. This is the extra large ruler she's showing there, and that's the only one that has, okay, can you see the lines? You've got two 60-degree in both directions. Amazing. I did a whole quilt using this ruler that had hexagons, and I didn't use any other ruler other than this, following her the pattern. Okay, so this ruler is great for cutting multiple strips up to 20 inches. Like if I had 2-inch strips, I could do 10 of them. Then the other ruler that we love is, this is the Stripology Squared. So it only goes up to 12.5, but it allows you, has more marks for the squaring out. So you can see the marks going out. Now again, you can go to the QR code, you can go to YouTube and find them, and we have 3 videos, I think, on using Stripology rulers, okay? There's a lot of lines on them, and once you're familiar with them, it's easy, but it is a little bit daunting at first. So get to know those, or come in and ask. We all know how to use those rulers. And I don't think there's one person who's come in who hasn't fallen in love with them. One person tried to return hers, and I said, not yet, you have to go home and try it. And then she came back and said, okay, I tried it, and I'm keeping it. So that says a lot. So there's more cuts. So this one is showing you, this is your 45-degree angles, using that ruler, the large one I showed you. Okay. But this is the one I love. Now, Joanne just showed you the flying geese ruler. So I went ahead and I thought, okay, I looked at this, and at first I was like, oh, I don't get it. Like, I got to get the fabric out and play with this. So I did. So the pattern, so this actually, she goes through all of the different rulers, okay, that you can use to make the cuts. So it's using the small rulers. See how she's showing you the larger ruler? So the same thing looks a lot, or the same block looks a lot smaller under there. But what this is doing, you're kind of creating these interesting shapes, and then you're cutting it in half, and then you are squaring them up. So you're getting 2 flying geese shapes from those. And then she's got a couple of projects here. And this one there is the one I've done. I haven't finished it. And we do have all the fabric for this, because it can be cut off the bolt. You're just using 10-inch squares. Okay, so there's 2 sizes of flying geese in that one. Okay, and I've got, so what I did, I've got a project at home, and hopefully Joanne can do a video with me, because I will show you the cutting and how we use the Stripology to do this. I'll demo it for you, but these are the sizes. Aren't they fun? So I have something on the design wall at home that I have to put together, and that's, so I did, so I could go this way too. Make like a tree. Oops, I tried not to do the same colors for you to see them. Okay, so that was the five different sizes, but I can even do more than that. So that was just working with scraps left over from my gnome runner. So I had lots left over, so I figured out that I would just use these, and it was quite simple, and I'll type it all up once I get my project done. But these are perfect. It was the same thing as Joanne's cutting. It was great to see how your points, everything are, once you sew them together, work. So there are tricks now for in the mastering your Stripology rulers that have the flying geese as an addition. All right, so rulers again. This is a new one this year that was just introduced. I think I ordered it the day I saw them introduce it. It's the half rectangle. So, oops, I don't even know where the strike. So here's what a half rectangle looks like, okay? What this does, and actually we've done a video, I don't think it's been released yet. So we do have a video on how to use this, so you'll get to see exactly how that works. But that is the newest one that I love too. And the grip on their rulers, it's so nice. And I do like the black and the white with the dotted lines. You can see if you've got light or dark fabric, that works so well with having both lines on them. So the two patterns that I brought in, I think I might have had another one, the Cactus Bloom, that used a smaller, no, the larger size, sorry, that one. I've got the quilt done, but there's the block for that one. And so you can see, here's the, so I've got actually what they call a right and a left facing. So you're making two different sides, and you would see that in the video on how to do that. So that looks quite different in bright colors. And I used a layer cake. I figured out how to use a layer cake to make 3 quilts. This is the second one, and that is this one here, Twisted Stars. Okay, and now this is a larger one, and you're only doing one direction. Can you see how that you get the spiral kind of happening? That's only using one slant, not both slants. So actually that was easier because you just had to keep doing the same cutting. And then the one I did on my own, I can just hold it up. Those are large, quite large. And actually I used a backing fabric for the background. And with the leftover 10-inch squares I had. So I got 3 projects from one layer cake using that ruler. And it was so much fun. I've got more stuff still to do. But that was one of my new finds this year. I think it was in August it came out. So I had worked on those projects. So lots and lots of fun, and they're perfect. They've figured out, so when your points come together, like look at, I'll probably find one and show you one that's not, but you've, oh, here. Pretty close to perfect without paper piecing, right? So that's your alternative, right? Foundation piecing to get all perfect. So I was super happy with that ruler. So that's the new one. And this is actually, I believe, Joanne, made by the same, yes, that's why we like it so much. So Joanne's ruler here is made by Deb Heatherly, which she's done both these patterns and this ruler for Creative Grids. So, yes, and Joanne is so right.
Those Debs.
You cannot have enough rulers.
Nope.
There's always ones. So speaking of that one, you can watch our video, but I had one customer come in and she goes, oh my gosh, I watched the video, and she said she used to make them without these templates, and she said this was the best thing. It made it so much faster. So these are just examples of the bowls. That's the small size. That's the large one. You can do them scrappy. This one I used 5-inch squares. This one was leftovers from a project. Look, you can piece them together. This one, that was a leftover block from a quilt.
Cool.
That still needs to be quilted. And then I played with the quilting on it. So you can play with your quilting. That's a great way to practice. To go tone on tone, it won't matter. This was taking a 10-inch square, cutting it a half one way, and inserting the middle, and then cutting it a half again, diagonally, and inserting it to make it big enough to fit. So that, the template's there, and we did do a video to go with those so that you can watch how those, the tips I had to put those together. All right. Okay. That's what the sponge looks like that Joanne showed earlier that was in a bag that I love too. It's great for cleaning your mat, even, or your design wall, but you got to be a bit careful, but it'll also take your fuzzies off your clothes. So that was a customer who asked if we could bring them in. So we learn a lot from all of you. So thank you for that. I love, love, love this. This is my blade saver. And I don't know if you can tell that there is a, this one's a 60 millimeter one. There is a blade inside there. So that you get it like this, and this unscrews. Watch me not get it out. Trying to pop it out easily. Anyways. Okay, so what you're doing is you're putting your old blades in there. Oh, it's dusty. So there's a 45 millimeter version and there's the 60 millimeter one. So you just put it inside and you're closing it, right? And now you're not cutting your fingers, but guess what that's for? when you chain sew, that's what you're using to, I guess I should put it back together. Oh, that did fall off. And this screw comes, you can store it inside of this, which is nice. And can you see the little, those are magnetic holders that actually will, I can put the screwdriver back in there, and then I put this on top, click, because look, so clever. And then that can sit in there, and I can keep rotating this using all the parts of the blade till I find that it's not going to cut. So if I have a chain, I take this hits my ironing board, and I just, as I'm either, sometimes I like to press them first and then cut them. It depends how large the chain is. Or you just have it by your sewing machine. But those come in, that's a great stocking stuffer. So you have to share these with your significant others so they can all see the stuff that you like. Quilting gloves, my machingers. I think I get a new pair every year in my stocking. And I cannot quilt without gloves. I have to be able to move my fabric. They're a little dirty, but I kind of, oh, look at that hole. I put them on, wear them, and go to your dish soap, like Dawn dish soap, and wash them on your hands. It took me years to figure that one out.
Oh, I did not know that.
I know, so clever, right? A lot of stuff I love. Oh, for Bernina feet, one of my favorite, as you a lot know, is the ruler foot. That's the 1/4 inch around from the center needle position, and I've got a few rulers I can show you. What's really, really nice with the Bernina ruler foot, it's got this little gold disc that when I turn it, oops, when it's on, it will lift the presser foot or drop it. So in conjunction with our presser foot pressure that we have on our machines that we can change, this allows you to do the same thing. And this is the 72. There's a 72S, which is like this, that has a slit right here. I'm not going to get that because I've already got this one. There is a 74, which is the, 73. It's the stippling foot for the Bernina, but also has the it's an adjustable stippling foot. And there's the adjustable gliding foot, which is cupped on the bottom. So it's good to go over seams, and it also has the adjustable. So those were 4 feet they brought out in the recent years. The other 3 much more recently. The 20C, I love this. So this was part of my showing people last week in class how to applique. This is a nose for a gnome. But when I'm working with my 20 foot, you can see I actually have the inside edge here sit where I want the stitches to be. So the fabric was sitting right there. And then I move my needle to the farthest right position. And whatever stitch I pick, no matter how wide it is, will always start here and go as far as I choose for width. And then I can just run it right along there. And actually you can use your knee lift to pivot a bit if you want, or you can just actually turn your fabric. It's amazing how you can be quite consistent turning it. So I've always loved this foot. And the other thing this is good for decorative, the reason being it has that opening. Oh my goodness, look at that. I gotta clean it, looks like goop. This is wider here than on a regular zigzag foot. So it sits on top of stitches better when you're doing decorative stitches. Not only, and then you can also see what you're doing. This is another favorite, the jeans foot. If you make bags, this is my dual feed one. If you do go through lots of layers, I saw a video about 5 years ago and I started doing that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best foot. And sometimes when you're going through layers, you've got feet that are bulky. This isn't a bulky foot. So because it's narrower, it allows you to get into spaces that are tougher. Worked great through soft and stable. And then I know Joanne and I both love our button sew-on foot. Oh, did you? Yeah. So this one, actually, I ordered these. I lost them, then I found them. They're the Teflon feet, the silicone feet that will sit on the button. And then there's that pin in the middle. And essentially the buttonhole is a zigzag without any length. So it's preset at a 4.0 width, because I didn't know that, but the standard buttonhole is separated that much. And then you can also on this foot, though, is that little dial. And that allows that, oh, sorry, because I know the camera will get in the way, the pin, to come up. So if you've got a bigger button and you want to have that higher so you don't have so tight, you can adjust that according to the size of your button, which is huge. So super nice foot. If you're doing lots of buttons, oh
I
my
think we
gosh.
have a video on that one too.
You probably do. I did an advent calendar that it was all buttons. I think it took me 5 minutes to sew the buttons on. It was fantastic. So great Bernina products, as well as these ones that go with my quilting stuff. These are the Echo clips, okay? And I've shown these in the video that was on ruler work recently, talking about ruler work products. Not only for ruler work though, you can actually just free motion quilt with these on, or if you're wanting just to echo shapes, then you can use these, the Echo clips. You just want to make sure the etched side is down before you insert the foot into it. And these are the couching inserts, which allow you to free motion over yarns or different widths of yarn, and that's why there's 3 different ones. They will accommodate different widths, and you always go with the smallest one that would work for what you're using. So those are wonderful, not just for ruler quilting, that's just for basic quilting. I know I showed this one, and I have ordered these in, and Krista ordered them. This is called, well, it's a spacer, or an expanding spacer. It's used for marking buttonholes, right? But well, Carrie will use it that way, but I'm not going to use it that way. Not right now anyways. I won't be doing clothes. So this is great for marking blocks on quilts or red marks that you want to do. So say here's Joanne's quilt here, and she wants to do even just straight line quilting. So she can take it and go, okay, if I see how I've got one on the seam line and one on what would be a seam line, right? So that's 4 lines in the middle and one in the, okay, so I could do those 4 if I want them closer together. If I want to go farther apart, how far would they be? And then I can decide on one. And then if you want, what you can do is you can actually mark, you could just mark dots in here. And then you could do ruler work with it, or you could use your walking foot. I would probably use a walking foot guide but that space might be too big. And then I also saw where you could take these shapes. Can you see the triangle? If you were doing chevrons, you could mark on certain projects just the shape that you can follow later, or even use the inside portion of those. But for marking, or if you were going, say, across diagonally, and you needed to mark just points that you were going to connect up later with either ruler quilting or other quilting, then you can do that. I went, oh my gosh, that is huge. So love, love, love that.
My mom had one, but it wasn't nearly that pretty.
Yeah. Well, this one, we didn't order this. This one's a lot more expensive than the ones we're getting in. So
But
it
it's so
works the
pretty.
same, and it's going to be nice. So you're going to like those. I think Joanne's used this too. This is Quilter's Select, so that's Alex Anderson's products, which are all really good. It's a powder in here. This is the powder. It's a fusible powder, and what it'll allow you to do, which I like to use it on stuff where if I don't want to spray or don't have time, or it's just a smaller project, and I've actually covered up some of the holes because I just didn't want that much coming out at one time. And then you can sprinkle it, so whatever you've got, I wouldn't do a whole quilt like that, but I might if I didn't have the space or I didn't want to spray and wash my floors. And it's just a fine sprinkling, and then you put your top on top and you're ironing in it, and it will permanently, it says semi-permanent bond with most fabrics, and it's needle friendly, so it's nice to sew through, which is great. Threads that I do like. I had done invisible threads years ago and didn't have success, but these are the Aurifil. So the smoke and then the clear, and I used it on a Christmas panel last year, and I loved it. And in the bobbin, you just put the 50 weight Aurifil, and it's beautiful. It doesn't break, it doesn't stretch. So if you're trying to decide on a color and can't, this is a great way to quilt your quilts. For those of you, this is the bottom line thread, and it's a 60 weight polyester. It's really good in the bobbin for embroidery, and I've even done a quilt with it that was a solid white, because we've got different colors. We've got white, 3 grays, black, and cream as well. It works, you just have to adjust your top tension, but I used a white in my bobbin with black and gray and white on the top, and I tightened. You usually have to increase your tension on the top if you're going to use this in the bobbin for quilting, but it was really, really nice on the back. And of course, I love the Aurifil threads. They quilt beautifully, they piece really nicely. And if any of you wonder why they're finer than the Metler, and I like my Metler though too, it's just about color usually more than anything. It's a 2-ply thread, so it's not the 3-ply like the Metler. So if you're liking a finer seam when you're piecing, then go with the 50 weight Aurifil. This is rinse away thread, which will wash away. And I had a lovely customer tell me what she was doing with it, because other than Kevin joking around saying
Not
you should.
swimsuits?
Yes, not swimsuits. That was Kevin's joke, one of the first times I met him. You should make a swimsuit with that for someone. I was like, oh my goodness. But I couldn't stop laughing, and I won't ever forget it. What she does, she's got a panel that she can stitch on to practice. It's a free motion practice panel. And she puts this in the bobbin and then her thread on the top, and she will practice her quilting, and then she spritzes away the back and then pulls the top thread out. And then she can continue practicing. So I went, oh, that's brilliant. And it would also be, I thought, a way even for myself on a quilt. I might have an idea and I might want to just do a test run on a block. I would do that and then rinse it or spritz it away, and then I would know if I liked it or not, and that would save me a lot of unpicking and not liking the final product. So that's called rinse away. This is a seam guide, but what's really nice is when you're quilting, there's that's a 1/4 inch. We have an 1/8 and we have the 5/8 for this close sewers. So because of the long handle, it works nice that you can, if you're trying to find something on a quilt and you're trying to get the guide of a 1/4 inch away and you're sitting back there and it's hard to see, you can actually have an idea by placing it there. You could also use it for other things other than just the quilting. But that's an Amanda Murphy product, and she's the one who does a lot of the rulers and ruler quilting stuff. Joanne wondered what these were when I brought them in. And these are, and I love them, they're stitching line discs, and the only reason they have different, if you can see the different hole sizes in them, that's just so you can put your utensil in it, whatever utensil that might be. So if I had my pencil, I would go around and try and find the one that would fit my pencil best. And then what happens, see, I can draw with it. If I had, okay, let's just pretend this is a ruler, and this is a straight edge, and I'm trying to see what it might look like quilting. This point is a 1/4 inch away from that. So this disc is mimicking, can you see that? The outside edge of my foot. So now I can go, okay, if I was gonna go from here to here, it's just like ruler quilting, I would have to go, now see, I'm on the other side of the line. But I could see what the quilting would look like if I used certain registration marks. I can do this on a block, it would be easier to show, but that's how these work. So that's the only reason they're all the same 1/4 inch. They're just intended for whatever you find useful to mark with. So anytime you're needing a 1/4 inch, there's probably others of you that would, like, not necessarily for ruler quilting, if you're wanting to have a 1/4 inch measurement, that's a really quick way.
I learned that in your ruler work
use
class.
So really nice. I love my stiletto, and I showed that in a class today, and one lady was so excited she purchased one. Except with these ones, there is a cover on them, which I was unaware of, and I know a few of you have done the same thing as me. It's plasticky, and I kept it on, and I kept thinking, oh, it's ruining the tip of it. Well, no, you pulled the whole thing off, and the metal part is what you actually want to have exposed. Although in the class today, he had said that he leaves it on and he likes it because it really grabs the plastic coat, grabs the fabric as he's using it. So if I was by the iron, I would take it off, and then if I was at the sewing machine, you could leave it on. The seam roller, if you are doing anything where you're wanting to flatten a seam out, or you got little pieces, like this is where I used it on little triangles that I was working on, then you can just don't push it on your tray because it'll start to bend. Do it on a table beside you. And that is a quick, if you're doing a bunch of little things and you need to get them flat, I still go to my iron, but I will use that if I am in a pinch and want to get things started again at the sewing machine, and they're just small, I can get away with it and then press the larger unit after that. So we had the Karen K. Buckley puzzle ruler, that you put together like a puzzle. There is her small scissors. So I've got these and large ones. They are the best scissors. They are, I can hear that. When I cut, I can cut this because I'm not using it. It is such a crisp, clean cut. And here's an interfacing. And it goes through that like nothing. And it's great for applique. So in the collage patterns that you have seen here, the recommend is for her scissors in that class to cut out the collage. And they are, and I think it was Linda who had them and brought them, used them, and we were all raving over them after we got ours. So they're fantastic. Bernina seam ripper, I know that's one of Joanne's too. It's a nice fine point. And a fine thin metal, so when you're getting under your seams, and if anyone is like me, you can't sew without a seam ripper. So I know someone who has 3 and has them all over her sewing room, so she's got one in all of her areas that she likes to work in.
That would be me.
Yeah, and then I know I've got the same other tweezers that Joanne showed you, but I've also got these ones. And again, a customer is the one who suggested them. They're the serger tweezers, but we can purchase them just individually. And they are the best at getting into our hooks and grabbing those little lint balls, because there's that little crook to them and the point goes down. Super, super great. So love, love, love those. And then marking utensils. I know Carrie loves this one too. This is the Fons and Porter pencil, and you can see how much is showing there. It's very fine, so then it's easy to mark, and then it can brush away for the most part. You don't even need to use a damp cloth. I find that it brushes away, but it's a really nice light one. Now you can use the Prim refills in this, which come in different colors if you want, because it's the same refill size. So that's all you have to make sure, because Fons and Porter doesn't make the lead ones like they used to. They just have the white. So that's, but we can use other lead. Love my fine line blue one. This is a spritz away one. This is one a lot of long arm quilters will use, but you do have to make sure it's spritzed away totally before you add heat or iron it. And so you just want to be light-handed with that, especially if you hit a seam and it'll grab if you're too heavy. But it does come out with spritzing. You just have to be patient. And then I love this one. This is a self-erase one, again, by Quilters Select, Alex Anderson's company. There is on one end, there's an eraser. I need a new one. I'm getting to the end of this one. And it's the purple eraser, air erase. So if I mark it, because you're thinking, why would you want an eraser then? Well, if I mark it where I don't want it to be, then I can get rid of it right away and not wait. But it says 1 to 7 days. So I had one project I marked, and then the next night it was half gone. So on certain fabrics, it will change big time on how that'll work. So you don't want to mark it too soon. I had Krista try this today. I think she fell in love. This is the Creative Grids rotary cutter. It is very heavy. And I know a couple of customers, I let them use mine to see if they liked it, and they've got arthritis, and they found this was actually beneficial. I believe they're going to come out with a 60 millimeter one too, and they were doing a bit of adjustments to make it deeper or to position so that it worked with stripology. I use this with my stripology ruler. And it's right and left-handed. So when I depress that way and pull it up, it's for the right-handed cutter. When I push down and swing it that way, can you see how it's swung? The left-handed cutter can now use it. So pretty brilliant. Their blades are really good. This isn't the Endurance blade. I like the Endurance blades as well, but they've also come out with blades that we've got in 2 and 10 packs, I believe now too. And they will work on all your 45 cutters. But a really nice case that comes with it as well. And then you got extra storage here. So really, really like that one. True grips. So that's this package here. And we have lots of these for people to come and pick up for stocking stuffers. They're like a silicone grip. And so on the back of your slotted trim ruler, and what's nice, it's clear, you're gonna stick that. I would probably put them in 3 spots. I've also got a tape on it, but I even like these better. They really grip, but see how I can see through that still? And that's what's really key with these rulers, that we are able to see all the lines, because that's how you use the rulers, which we have our first video was all about the slotted trim rulers if you want to take a look at that. But I really like these. I just opened them up a couple weeks ago. I've had it for a while. So that is the True Grip. You can even feel it's kind of weighted. It's just like silicone, rubbery. Great idea. And then if you are book people, those two ruler books, both by Amanda Murphy, are awesome. Start with this one if you're learning, and this one is a great ideas book, and it works through, it'll start with a lot of the basics, which are great to know, and once you're familiar, this will make more sense. So this is the first book she came out with, and she had to develop a new book that went really basic, and so this one has lots of pictures in it. This one will go through what you can do with straight lines, and then you move into curves. So this is still straight lines. Look at that, there's tons. I thought I could teach all of that in one day in class. That didn't work very well. That poor class. Curves, and then ideas with curved rulers, okay? And this won't make sense necessarily to you until you've used rulers or, you know, have started and looked at her book. And then once I got more familiar and took time, these books made such great sense. I am a person who loves quilting books. So, Free Motion Idea Book. So a lot of it's in blocks too. This one though is probably one of my favorites too. It's organic free motion quilting, and what she'll do, this is Amanda Murphy again, love coiled books, who doesn't? Okay, so she's got water theme, okay? And then what she'll show you like an all over design, and then she'll take that same concept and then she works it in a shape, and then she'll work it in a sashing, and there's a couple different ideas there. Can you see how she just builds on that? So it's easy to follow, and that's throughout the book. So it's just done. Starts with an overall, works into how you can build sashing ones, open, okay. And then you'll probably get your own ideas looking ahead in books like that. But I always love something that I can have open beside me and not have a book on top of it to hold it down. Really like Natalia Bonner. She's a long arm quilter. Watch her videos. She's got awesome ideas. That's her feather book. And then this is a really good, if you're a beginner free motion quilter, these two books here. So we've got Angela Walters, great videos. She's got classes, free classes, like she'll walk you through swirls, 5 different swirl classes. She's done feathers, she's done, everything. She's gonna be doing a dot to dot one starting in January, which is just kind of going dot to dot, following kind of her shape by shape ideas. Another one for beginning, Christina Camelli. And she's got a few videos out there too, and she's in Washington State, I believe, that one. So all those 3 do have stuff online. This is another one of Christina Camelli's. Carrie and I both have this book and have used a few of the ideas. What she does, which I really like, is just saying, okay, here's the design. This is the breaking it down. And then she'll tell you, what'd she say there? Stitch a circle, okay? And then you go into this off the circle and then echo the wingding. This is called a wingding. And then you go into another circle and you continue, and then you can, so it makes it so simple, and then I understand it. And it gives you, like I know Joanne talks about the 3s and E's, like in your head, 3s and E's, 3s and E's. Same idea here. You can get that concept going, and then you can do quite intricate ones if you want. But there's the building blocks, and that's what I really liked for me. Might not be for all of you, but it does break it down, and you'd be shocked. I was so impressed with how my quilting looked after, because it was really intricate without being intricate, because I could follow that. And then I haven't really even looked through this much. That is a couple of years old, but it's Christina Camelli again. It's quilting texture. So can you see? And there's some cool ideas, and also she has walking foot ideas too in here. Okay, how to break things down, isn't that cool? Circles, like different ways to use circles too. So another great book. I think we've sold the last copy of that and have to reorder it in. And of course, Can't ruler quilt without rulers. So we have a great selection if you're looking at adding to your repertoire, if you haven't. So this one is set of 5 circles. There's also an inner circle in all of these. So you were getting a ton of circles. Plus, I did kind of mention in the video, you can use the lines to do just curves because you can use part of it, not the whole thing if you want. Hexagon one. Okay, so that's a set of 4. And I won't explain how these rulers work because we'll do another video on that because there's so many lines on them, but it's pretty fun. Larger ones. This one a customer was excited about getting. It's the Baptist fan. And you watch Amanda Murphy's video on how to use this, and you can see there's like multiple 5 rulers, I think, in there, 4 or 5 rulers. It's a crazy how she can figure out how to use all those. This one is really a nice one too. It's called every curve, and so you're getting curves, and you're actually getting what it would be if it was a 8-inch circle. If you continued, there's 3 of them. So there's 2 convex. Which one's which? Concave, convex. So you've got outer one, an outer one on this ruler underneath, but you've got a straight edge too. So when you have something beside you like that where you can do the straight lines and then do curves in combination, those are really handy as well. Straight line one, this is a great one to start with. Okay, so if you're wanting to learn to ruler quilt, start with a straight line ruler. Don't look at any curves until you've worked with a straight line. We do have, and I know there's a few of you who have the low shank machines, other machines that can't use the thick ones. You only use this on those machines that can't adapt. Bernina's use the 1/4 inch wide. These are thinner. I don't know if you can see the difference. And it's because there's certain machines out there that cannot accommodate the thicker ones at the back of the foot or even on one of the sides sometimes. So we have a good selection of the every angle in the low shank. And that's why all of the every angle, all those lines on it, those are used to create lines in those degrees. So if I put my 45-degree line on a seam, either side of that ruler, if I'm following it, would be a 45-degree angle from the seam. And that would apply to all of them. You've got a 15, 22, 30, 45, 60, and it goes in both directions, which is huge. So really well-designed ruler. And this is a great beginner set, which we have some of. This is the Jubilee set. Underneath is a straight edge ruler, but it's got these little curves in here. And so when you stop here, you're a 1/4 inch away from your edge, but there's also a straight line that you can line up with your seam. So it's really handy. And then you've got these marks, which are a 1/4 inch from here and a 1/2 inch. And this line is a 1/4 inch from here. The circle, 1 circle ruler and a small solid circle are great again for practicing curves. You can set a dotted line on a seam, and then you're just doing that petal, just a part of a petal that way. And you can do all different sizes that way with the 3 lines on that. So if you're looking at a beginning set, this as well gives you a couple of curves and your straight edge ruler. And I've got this one, I use this one, the straight edge, a lot, as well as my Bernina straight edge. And then we do have So Kind of Wonderful. These are their curved rulers. Okay, you kind of see that's what the ruler is. You get 2. You get the one convex and concave on for the ruler, and these will match their quick curve patterns. So the quick curve patterns, they use this ruler to quilt those so the curves match, but you've also got the straight edge on both ends. And then this one will match the quick curve mini and the blocks that you make with that. And so you've got 2 rulers in here, 2 small rulers that are nested because of the convex and concave. So we do have a great selection of quilting rulers, and we can order most other ones in as well if you're looking at doing that. And the last one is a book that I was going to demo years ago when COVID hit. And I know some of you have seen this at the Guild, if you belong to the Guild here, because I showed a customer and she brought it to the Guild and it was demoing it. And so it's using how to create, that one is. Now Sheila Christensen, she is in New Zealand, I believe. I don't want to mix up Australia and New Zealand because that is always offensive, right? And she did an online class during COVID, which I did, but Joanne did her half triangle ruler, like the half 60. That's her ruler. This book, she shows you how to use your 60-degree triangle ruler, and there's options, whether you have a blunt tip or a point. Or she shows you how to use your ruler using a 60-degree line to create all of those shapes. There's your chart.
I did a Christmas tree using that point at the top.
It's unbelievable. So then this is showing all the charts. It'll tell you what your cuts are, what your size is, your strip width. Shows you the 3 ways to cut it, or 3 ways. The blunt tip, right, or the point. So your changes. And then at the back, like, she gives you all these amazing blocks. It's crazy. So, and then you can design your own quilt. So
Cool.
She's showing you what you can do with the block, but you could take the block and do your own thing. And it's coiled again. So this is, yeah, you could do tons and tons. If you like Tula Pink and like getting all those different shapes into, you'd have a lot of fun using that book. So super handy resource. So, sorry, that was a lot of stuff that I shared because I love all of this stuff.
Is everything off the floor behind there?
Yeah. Just one thing. It's okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope to see you soon.